Okay, so this one is one of the first stories regarding creation. Name of it's called Blood Clot. Its origins are Southern Ute tribe. Okay. Long ago, a very old man and his wife lived alone and hunted for game, but it was scarce and they were scarce. One day the man discovered some buffalo tracks and followed them to the place where the animal had stopped. They found only a big clot of blood, which he wrapped in his shirt and carried home. The old man told his wife to boil the blood, and she put it into the kettle with warm water from the creek. But before it came to a boil over the fire, they heard cries inside the kettle. The man ran up to it and pulled out a baby, a little boy who had somehow formed out of the clot of blood. The old couple washed the baby and wrapped him up. By the next morning he had grown much larger, and that day he continued to grow until he could crawl about by himself. The second day he was able to walk a little. By the third day he was walking with ease. The couple called him Blood Clot and came to treat him as their son. The old man made little arrows so that the child could learn to shoot. Soon Blood Clot needed larger arrows. With them he began to hunt birds and other small game. He never brought the game home himself, but sent the old man for it. One day Blood Clot returned from hunting and said, "I have killed something with a striped back." The man went out and fetched an animal a little bigger than a mouse, which he cooked for the three of them. The next day the boy announced, "I have killed a white short-tailed animal." It was a cottontail, which the man also cooked. The day after that, Blood Clot went farther and killed a badger. "I have killed an animal in a hole in the ground," he said, and the man brought the creature home and cooked it. The following day, when the boy returned, he said, "I have killed an animal with black ears and a black tail." To the man's joy, it was a female deer. The three of them ate and were happy. Next, Blood Clot said, "I have killed a big fellow with big antlers." It was an elk. So again the family feasted on meat. The old man gave the boy a full-sized bow and arrow, and Blood Clot went into the mountains and shot a mountain goat. "I have killed an animal with big horns in the mountain," he said when he came down. Every day, the old man said proudly, he kills a different kind of animal. Now their troubles were over, and they had an easy time. Blood Clot killed a mountain lion. Then he tracked and shot an otter. "I have killed an animal with nice fur, living in the water." The old man tanned the skin to make strings for the boy's braids. The following day, Blood Clot found a beaver. "I have killed a water animal with a tail of this size." At last there came a day when Blood Clot said, "I want to visit the village where many people live. Before that, I will go on my last hunt for you, all day and night. First, I want you to tie up the tent, put rocks on the edge, and fasten the door, lest the night wind carry it away. Though the wind will be strong, don't go outdoors. Don't be afraid. I will call you when you can come out." The old couple obeyed, and he hunted all night while they were sleeping. About daybreak, they heard a big noise, forerunner of a wind that threatened to tip over the tent. The man was frightened and wanted to go out, but the wife held him back, reminding him of what their son had said. When the daylight came, they heard their son's voice. "Come out. Come out, I'll show you something." They unfastened the door and saw dead buffalo lying all around. "I have done this for you," Blood Clot said. dry the meat and hides. Save the meat, and it will last you for a long time." The young man asked his mother to fix him a lunch. She gave him pemmican. "Now my parents have plenty of food," he said. As he left, they cried and asked him to return. Wearing buckskin leggings, carrying a quiver of mountain lion skin, Bloodclot began to travel. After a few days, he reached the village. At the outskirts, he asked for the chief's house. A man told him, "It is in the center." There he found the chief with his wife and daughter. They invited him to sit down, and the chief asked where he came from and what his tribe was. "I don't know what tribe I belong to. I have come to visit you," Bloodclot replied. The chief stepped outdoors and shouted to the people to come meet their visitor. The villagers were starving for lack of game, but all gathered at the chief's house and sat down. The chief said, "Do any of you know the tribe of this young man?" People named the tribes: deer, elk, otters, beavers, and others. They asked him whether he belonged to any of these, but he thought not. At last one man said, "I think I know from the power in him. Although I may be mistaken, I think he is one of the buffalo." Bloodclot thought about it and finally agreed. The people of the village asked Bloodclot to stay and marry the chief's daughter. He agreed to this as well. As the wedding was held that evening, he asked his father-in-law to bring one arrow from the teepee. When the chief returned, Bloodclot told him to have all the teepees fastened and to warn people that they should stay indoors, for there would be a great storm. The chief told the villagers, and at daybreak, when they heard a big noise, they cried out in fear but did not leave their teepees. Then Bloodclot called to the chief, who came out to find dead buffalo before every lodge. At his son-in-law's bidding, he summoned the whole village for a feast, and all were happy. Bloodclot stayed there until one day, when a group of villagers went out to hunt buffalo. Long before this, he had told his wife, "You know the buffalo calf. I am a part of that. It is a part of me, so you must never say the word calf." When the party killed some buffalo and were butchering, another herd came running past. His wife pointed and called, "Kill the calf." Immediately Bloodclot jumped on his horse and galloped away, changing as he did so into a buffalo. His wife cried and attempted to catch him, but in vain. From that time on, Bloodclot ran with the buffalo. The end. Excuse my lack of reading good or well. Haven't read out loud in a while. Okay, more to follow.